Rated foreign exchange broker, Interbank FX.
The DIFC has laid the foundations for the organic growth of the financial services industry in the world's fastest growing emerging market. With a world-class regulatory and legal framework and a critical mass of leading global financial institutions, we have firmly established the building blocks for innovation in product, services, and technology, knowledge transfer and dissemination, business development, and sustainable growth. The result, increased availability of financial instruments, the development of regional local financial centers, and a dynamic skilled talent pool. The DIFC is the de facto international financial center in the region between the Eastern and Western financial markets.
Dubai International Financial Center, your gateway to growth.
Imagine a world of beauty, excellence, craftsmanship, and style. With unprecedented exclusive access to the key people, events, goods, and services that constantly redefine the world of fine living, the Luxury Channel offers you a unique opportunity to view, explore, and acquire the lifestyle you deserve.
We have the mother of all economic data. That's the jobs report.
The CEO of BP Capital is talking to Squawk.
CPI is coming out today. Housing starts also hitting the table.
Retail sales numbers just minutes away.
Instant reaction and analysis.
Crude is topping new highs this morning.
Let's get the early trading buzz.
Squawk debate you can't afford to miss.
It's time to get in the game.
Squawk Box, where business turns first. Tonight at 7. Only on CNBC.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
This is CNBC.com News Now.
This just in, BlackRock agrees to acquire Barclays Global Investors, including its market-leading iShares business. The Sydney Morning Herald says China may impose trade sanctions against BHP Billiton and Rio Tinto if the two miners merge their Australian iron ore operations without the approval of Chinese competition agencies. And a report shows US video game sales dropped 23% in May, falling below the $1 billion threshold for the first time since August 2007. I never got bored of Pac-Man or Space Invaders. Details of these stories and more only on CNBC.com.
Welcome back to Squawk Box Hong Kong on a Friday morning. The retail sector may be weak. There were signs, though, out of the U.S. overnight of at least a little bit of improvement. Sales numbers saw their first gain in 3 months in May. These are retail sales. Here in Hong Kong, meantime, the economy is still in recession, but in April, decline in retail sales was a lot smaller than expected. For more, Morgan Parker joins us, president of Taubman Asia, a subsidiary of the mall operator Taubman Centers, which is huge. Also staying with us is Ajay Kapoor from Mirae Asset Securities. Morgan, good to see you. Good morning and welcome back. Last time we talked to you was, I think, several years ago. You're probably in a good position. You're based here to, I guess, take the pulse of what's going on with retail in Hong Kong. How bad is it?
Well, everything's in a relative context, I guess. If you look at a similar crisis such as SARS, the current retail market in Hong Kong is actually faring relatively well. Okay. We've had 3 or perhaps 4 months of consecutive decline, but you're really talking about a decline that takes us back to roughly 2007 statistics, which at the time were considered very robust. Okay. And the declines have been relatively small. The market's holding up relatively well because of the impact of inbound tourism, which, despite swine flu, is continuing to be an important component of retail sales in Hong Kong. I was going to
ask you about that. So far, so good. Not as bad as back when during SARS, but now with the WHO overnight going, look, this is a global pandemic, folks. We're upping the threat alert level to 6, the highest it can go. What now?
Well, I think unless the swine flu results in regulatory implications that slow down travel from a more enforced perspective, people will still tend to spend and still tend to travel. Yeah. So I think it's a little overcooked, to be honest, and that it won't really have the sort of dramatic impact that a lot of people expect it will. people are still drawn to Hong Kong for the diversity and comprehensiveness of the shopping experience here, and of course the price. And many retailers will attest to the fact that you know, mainland consumers are a majority of their sales here in Hong Kong.
Indeed. Here's the thing, though. I mean, if the big spenders are still, as they have been for the last couple of years, new, rich mainland Chinese, I mean, the flow of them coming over has eased, has it not? Because of restrictions. It's not as easy for them to get out of the country and to come here.
Well, I think the slowdown in inbound tourism from Chinese is part of that decline, that 4 or 5% decline we saw in April. Part of it is also, obviously, Hong Kong residents pulling back. If you look deeper into the statistics, you see that the majority of the decline is associated with big-ticket items. Things like automobiles, furniture, which aren't really associated with tourists. So they are the larger items that are obviously on a weighted basis having a bigger impact. If you look to things like jewellery, watches, some apparel, they really haven't suffered much of a decline at all.
Interesting. Oh, Mans, jump in.
Yeah, I want to jump in here. Hi there, Morgan. It's Maddie Drury in Sydney. Where do you see growth for your company? Where do you see consumers still having the firepower or the spend power to get out there into the shops? And where do you see your expansion strategy heading?
Well, from a macro perspective, we still like Asia. We think that this region of the world will continue to produce opportunities for Taubman that are, you know, on a relative basis attractive compared to other regions in the world. Of course, we still like the US, and our portfolio still performs well in that market despite all of the dislocation that's taken place. Within a regional context in Asia, we love the Korean market. We think that there is still a real dichotomy that exists there, where you have a very robust population with tremendous spending capacity and a real dearth of retail space. We continue to like the story in China. We think that the Chinese consumer will continue to grow. The consumption class for the types of merchandise that we sell in luxury continues to grow each and every day, with new pockets of wealth being created despite the economic crisis. It's still proving to be an area of tremendous growth. We really follow where retailers want to grow. And if you take a sort of straw poll of retailers around the world, you'll find that almost consistently they view the Asia-Pacific region as the one region in the world where they can see growth. So for us, it seems to be a logical place to be that intermediator between the consumers, which are growing, and also the retailers that want to expand their network here.
Morgan, you know, the parent ship, the mothership rather, Taubman, you guys are a REIT. You're listed, basically you're securitizing cash flow. I want to bring AJ in on this. REITs right now, your position on them?
Well, they've actually done exceptionally well, and you know, most of the REITs are backed by apartments or commercial property, and people are very negative on commercial property. However, some of the leading indicators is the American Institute of Architects Billings Index. There's an obscure one for you.
Okay.
That's picked up quite nicely, and so probably by early next year, that sector also should begin to pick up. People are very concerned about commercial property, which kind of backs the REITs, but the market is telling us that we've looked ahead.
Yeah, but hold on. This obscure Architects Billing Index that you're talking about, I mean, look, they get commissions to do work to build, I guess, commercial real estate or property, including malls or whatever.
Yes.
Isn't this just going to mean more supply coming on at a time when, you know, retail sales, the whole sector is under pressure?
Well, that index has dropped dramatically over the past year and a half, and so if you look at the chart, it's kind of here from here, and it's just begun to pick up and turn around. And so, as I said, you know, if you're bullish like me on the economy, this thing should get better. So I'm actually not, and so the market is talking pretty loudly to us. REIT stocks have done exceptionally well in the last few months.
Okay, I'll have to go and look up that index. Interesting. Okay, gentlemen, both of you will have to leave it there. Thank you for your time. We've been talking to AJ Kapoor from Miri, also Morgan Parker from Taubman. Thank you so much.
Well, Morning Call is coming up next on Squawk Box. Chung Lei joins us once again from Shanghai with a preview. Hi, Lei.
Hi there, Mandy. Well, Martin and friends have already been talking about data